Silver teddies hanging up after night shift and day shifts for the babies.
Well, we just received a call about a little one that apparently has fallen off somebody's roof, and they found it there this morning, and they're going to take it across to another rehab center where we can quickly go and collect it. And of course, naturally, riding along these roads, they're always interesting, and as we sort of got further, we came across quite a big motor vehicle accident that we had to pass through. I'm not too sure how people have accidents on a straight road, but anyway, we didn't have, fortunately the police and ambulance were there, so we didn't really have time to stop, and just got on our way through to where this little one was to see what we can do. So we're just approaching the town of Hoedspruit at the moment. We should be coming up to the four-way crossing. A lot of times we actually see a lot of wildlife on the side of the road here, because all of these roads border on, or farms border on, Kruger National Park, so sometimes we do see a lot of interesting things. This is the snake park. We pulled in by the snake park and they've handed over the little one to us there, and of course it looks fairly dehydrated. We don't know where it's how long it's been lying around or struggling, because it's very strange for a little one just to be struggling on its own. It does have 8 small teeth, got quite a few ticks and everything on it, so they're going to have to be removed. So that just tells that it hasn't been with its mom for a while. It has got slight concussion. The pupils are pretty big and a little bit spaced out, so it's not responding as well as it should be. So just giving it the rehydration that it really needs at the moment as soon as possible, and then we'll be racing back through to the foundation to give it proper treatment. You can just see the angle that it actually holds its head, that it's got a little bit of trauma, and also the pupils. I'm not too sure if you can see them from there, but his reactions are not as good as what we would expect them to be. We don't know what kind of trauma this little one's been through, because as I say, it's been found lying around, so anything's basically possible. Our main thing here is just to get it rehydrated and fluids into it. We can't actually give it milk or anything at the moment. It needs to have the rehydrate to get its stomach and going. This is the basically the little town of Hoedspruit that we're just leaving now with the little one, and we'll be getting on our way back to the foundation.
Okay, so we've just had our team come back with the baby. He does seem to be in a little bit of critical condition. He's fallen off a roof. You'll see the little guy. Okay, you're looking a bit more awake than I thought you would.
Yeah.
It seems pretty dehydrated. So.
Yeah. Could have been left alone for a while. I can take that, doctor. Alright, so the little baby we will treat as critical care for now, just because it does seem like they have some kind of head trauma, which is normal if they've fallen off a roof or down a tree. We'll do a full health checkup just to check that nothing is broken and that everything else seems fine. but we will treat them for concussion and possible head trauma just to be safe. So we've just got baby number 10. We're just going to do a quick health check. So we already know that he probably does have some head trauma. He was a bit unresponsive in the car, and he couldn't keep his neck up, so we'll just check him over. His head doesn't seem to have got any kind of soft spots on it, but his pupils are quite dilated, and this kind of behaviour is quite odd. He does keep his neck quite far back, and you don't quite see him with it, do you, young man? Hey? I don't know if you can all see, but here, just on the eyelid, and then on the side of the face and underneath the chin, especially here, we have lots of little tiny black marks, and these are ticks. So we'll get them off later. They're not our biggest priority at the moment. His hydration isn't great, but he has been liking the rehi. If he was out, obviously, all last night, and especially with the ticks, we know that he's not been with his mum for a while. His gums are nice, and they're a bit pale, but they're still pink. They're not white yet. And we got about 8 teethies. Hi. But yeah, this behaviour, you can obviously tell that he's quite spaced out. It's not what we would class as normal. So we are just going to treat for head trauma at the moment. Can I have a feel of you? So obviously with all babies, we want to be nice and gentle, but with him especially. Hi, can I have a look at your legs? Yeah. Everything else seems to be good though. He hasn't really moved around much. Hi. I did find another tick on his leg earlier, which I got off. A little scab on your foot. But yeah, he is quite dehydrated, but I do think it is a boy. But we will confirm later, hey? When he's a bit more hydrated from that perspective. You doing a poop? Boy. So it is quite watery at the moment, which we would expect. He was on some kind of milk, Larissa said, from Holo Holo. So generally when they do change over, you get a bit of a bad tummy. But we will, at the moment, our main priority is just getting some meds in him and some fluids, and we'll take temperature and wait a little bit later. Hi. Yeah. And then we'll get all these ticks off you, love, hey? Good boy. Spent some time with baby number 10, just picking off all of his ticks. He had 14 in total. So they were on his face, head, neck and shoulders. He did have one on his leg as well, so I've gotten all of those off just with some tweezers. They are not as bad as European ticks, so from England where I come from, you have to make sure that you twist them in a certain direction, otherwise their head stays on, but you don't have to do that here. So they're all come off. He did vomit after his medication earlier and his rehi. So I have been keeping him in an upright position, but now he's just sleeping. He hasn't shown any more signs of vomiting, which is great. He is due some more arnica. So this is just for pain relief, but also for kind of swelling and healing and everything else like that. And PCOP, as well as obviously his rehi and milk. So we'll see how he gets on. But yeah, very glad that he's here. He does worry us a little bit, but he's doing better than I expected, considering he was quite unresponsive in the car. And baby 10 is just sleeping, although he's woken up with the sound of my voice. He always sleeps with his head quite far back, so we do try and prop him up a little bit better. But this does seem to be from the concussion and head trauma that he has. Almost seems like his head's a little bit too heavy for his neck at the moment. He still is quite out of it. Very dazed kind of look doesn't really focus on anything at the moment. He has taken another round of meds well, and more rehi. It seems like keeping him upright for at least 10-15 minutes after he's had his meds work well, because he did vomit quite a bit after his first set of meds. But we're hoping now he can keep it down. Just waiting for Claudia to take over. I'll go get some lunch and then we'll be with him. Hannah and Mark are taking him tonight, just because we are worried about seizures at the moment. Just because of the head trauma, so it's important that somebody knows how to obviously deal with seizures and the head trauma while they've got him. So that's why Hannah and Mark are taking him for the night. We think this might be little Billie. I'm not 100% sure on the gender yet. Looks to be a boy, but I'm going to wait until he's a bit more hydrated and then obviously double check and confirm whether he is a boy or a girl. So we just have baby number 10, who is going to be named Billie. We're just having a look at his weight. So he is 320 grams. Still say he's around about 4 weeks old. Let's keep an eye on that weight. From that perspective, we are just going to take his temperature. It's a nice hot day. We wanted to focus a little bit on fluids for him at the time, and his meds, but now he's been here, we can just make sure that he is the right temperature. We do have a kind of cooling machine in here, and we can also get some ice to help cool down, just because we don't have a lot of energy at the moment, because there is no power in the city, in the town. Yeah, I'm gonna check your temperature.
Billie's first to be fed. Come on then. There you go. There we go. Come on then. Come on, Billie. Billie drinks on her terms only. Yeah.
Here we have Miri on the right and Billie on the left. Both girls are doing super well. They're still in Loveland for the time being, but they'll move to Disneyland soon where they can climb and explore more. Billie's mobility is still a little bit hindered after she fell off the roof. But Miri is doing a lot better. She's gained a bit of weight. She's still very, very small for her age, but she is doing 10 times better. So is Billie. She's a lot more active. We just need to practice using those legs a little bit more. You can see she's a little bit clumsy when she walks. Here's Miri.
Miri's doing better. She's going to come off her antibiotics soon. And Billie's not walking around too much, but hopefully will do soon. There could be still some bruising going on there after being hit by a car. We're in the peak of summer now, so we've had 40-degree days, which is very hot for babies alone and also staff, volunteers and interns. But everybody's still being taken care of.
Billie at the front and Miri just at the door. So we are currently in Loveland. We are looking after our special care babies. So Billie came in 2 days ago with a concussion and Miri is still very skinny. She's doing better now, but she was having diarrhea, losing lots of weight, weight that she couldn't be afford to lose. So she is just in here just to keep a bit of an eye on her. She is quite small in comparison to the other babies, so it's just making sure that we make sure that she is looked after. We do have 2 new arrivals that arrived last night, babies number 11 and 12, so they might meet with Miri just because they are about 3 weeks old, so they are a little bit younger. Hi Billie, should we try and give you some milk? See, Miri is here, see if she wants any comfort. Here we have Billie and Miri. Miri playing with the leaf.
It's always nice when they're so interested in the natural forage, and we do have to be careful if we do give them stuff that they can actually eat, so they do recognize it from the outside. So nothing's tasting bitter or terrible that would actually put them off of their natural forage, and that we've got to make sure it's not like something that's poisonous that they're not allowed to eat. So we do like study some of the plants that we get around the area and what the monkeys naturally eat, and we go and collect that and make sure we give a lot to them. Grass, of course, they really and truly love. Bird biting, as we've mentioned on many occasions, is very, very important. Sometimes it's just trying to get away from your friend to make sure you get a bit of food before they do. or to select the most juiciest piece, or just for the hell of it in the end of the day. But all these little struggles are very, very important between the two of them, just to test their strength, which will help their ranking and things like this later on when they're actually in a troop. Also notice how more explorative these two little ones have actually become. If you have a look at what they're like when they first get you and barely able to move or doing anything, basically now to going around, looking at little things, picking little items up, spotting little bugs and things like this, and of course the interaction between each other, which is very, very important, because sometimes this naturally brings them out of their own little shell and makes them realize, yes, there's more to life than anything that's happened before, and that they do have quite a good future still in front of them. Well, of course, after a lot of rough playing and scampering around, we all got to get down and rest. And this is where they're absolute cutest. I mean, who can resist these little ones? And so peaceful, look like there's no trouble in them whatsoever. I mean, those are like little angelical faces that couldn't cause any trouble. I'm sure that's even a little smile on the face there. Just look at that, unbelievable.
This is Miri.
Now, if any of you have noticed the genital area, this is Miri, which is a female. And as you can see, at this age it's very, very difficult in some of the females to tell if they're female, because if you've only got this little girl, you're definitely going to think she's a boy. And it's why a lot of the little girls get named as boys. The protrusion and everything looks exactly the same. Just if you do get a chance to see Billie, you'll see there's not really much difference there. So, you know, very, very hard to tell unless you know what you're doing. You can see now with Billie, it's a lot more formed. And you can see the scrotum and everything's basically there. So that's how you can tell the difference. Whereas with Billie it will be kind of flattish and it won't look like it's containing anything inside at all. So yeah, just something to have a look at. Very, very interesting development between the two of them, and why a lot of females are actually called little males in the beginning of life.
That's Miri. This is Miri being joined by Billie.
Not that these two needed it, but of course the climbing frame is always a start and gets them going and just gets them something to start developing on. But a lot of them are already jumping around the cabin and climbing up the windows and things like this, even before the climbing thing. But this just helps with their little hands and everything like this, get the right formation. Of course, meeting other monkeys, the sooner the better, is very, very important. There you can see that's a little juvenile outside that's actually carrying the baby around for mom. So moms always have some, like, let's call it a wet nurse, just to help in those moments when she's like a little bit tired of carrying somebody around. She's always got a little juvenile that's very, very happy. And sometimes you'll see the same kind of thing going on in the introduction enclosures, is that you do have a juvenile that comes in and helps. So there's nothing really wrong with that. It is part of the whole troop, and also the part of little girls growing up and learning about little babies before they get their own one. But it is so great here, of course, the interactions going on here. There's a little baby of the same age. It doesn't really seem too concerned, but I think it's also because the little juveniles not letting it go at all, more interested in trying to get itself another little baby to look after.
We have Billie on the left and Miri on the right.
Here we have Billie and Miri. Miri is just on the top and Billie on the bottom, and they are moving into Disneyland today. We did originally schedule their visit into Disneyland tomorrow when 4 of the babies moved to Skunky, but we've just got word that we are picking up a new baby, so that means that we need Loveland in order to look after them. So they're coming in here. So they've been in special care now for a couple of weeks. Billie because she had head trauma, and a concussion, and Miri because she lost quite a lot of weight and needed antibiotics. So we're just going to open it up and see if they interact with any of the other babies.
Well, this brings us to the end of this section in little Billie's saga. We'll certainly see a lot more of him as he integrates with other monkeys and into the troops, and hopefully finds a foster mom very soon. At this point, I'd just like to thank everybody out there for your continual support, for watching, for spreading the word, getting other family members to watch, just being part of our big family. For those people who joined Patreon, other people for adopting virtual monkeys, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. The continued donations every month or on a monthly basis really makes a big help to everything we're doing. Numbers are still low. We need you all. Thank you for being there for us, and we'll see you in the next episode.